Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Have you ever wondered how our ancient ancestors might have perceived abnormal behavior? It's a fascinating question that takes us back to the early age era. Back then, abnormal behavior was often linked to the supernatural. Evil spirits were blamed, and divine punishment was considered a plausible explanation for any deviation from the norm. Consider trephination, an ancient surgical procedure where holes were drilled into the skull to release evil spirits. Or exorcism, a ritualistic practice aimed at casting out these malevolent entities. These practices were not born out of cruelty or ignorance, but from a deep-seated belief that the supernatural was the root cause of abnormal behavior. These early interpretations, though far from our modern understanding, shaped the course of psychological and psychiatric thought. They remind us of the journey we have taken to reach our current understanding and how our perceptions of abnormal behavior have evolved over time. As we can see, the early age era was marked by a supernatural understanding of abnormal behavior. Coming to next topic, period of Middle Age era of naturalism and era of superstitions. Moving forward in time, how did perspectives change during the Middle Ages? As we journey into the Middle Ages, we find a fascinating dichotomy of beliefs about abnormal behavior. On one hand, the era of naturalism offered a more grounded view, considering abnormal behavior as part of the natural world. It was seen as an imbalance in the four humours of the body: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile, a philosophy propagated by Hippocrates and Galen. On the flip side, we encounter the era of superstitions, where abnormal behavior was once more shrouded in the mysteries of the supernatural. Demonic possession, witchcraft, and divine punishment were common explanations. This tug-of-war between natural and supernatural perspectives created a unique tension in understanding abnormal behavior. In essence, the Middle Ages were a time of contradiction, with both scientific and supernatural explanations coexisting. The struggle between rational thought and deeply rooted superstition set the stage for the evolution of our understanding of abnormal behavior. And next we see the reappearance of scientific approach. So, when did a more scientific approach re-emerge? Let's teleport ourselves back to the Renaissance period. This was a time when curiosity was rekindled and the world was looked at through a new lens. This era witnessed a significant shift from superstition and religious explanations for abnormal behavior towards a more rational understanding. During the Renaissance, we see the rebirth of scientific inquiry. People started to question the dogmas and began to look for logical explanations. They started to explore the concept that perhaps abnormal behavior was not a result of divine punishment or demonic possession, but could be rooted in natural causes. This period fostered the development of medicine, leading to a more humane approach in treating abnormal behavior. Instead of viewing individuals as possessed or sinful, they were now seen as patients deserving of care and understanding. This period marked the beginning of a more humane approach to understanding and treating abnormal behavior. And next topic is the Reform movement. Despite these advancements, why was the treatment of individuals with abnormal behavior still problematic? Well, the answer lies in the intersection of social reform and good intentions. The Reform movement of the 18th and 19th centuries sought to improve conditions for those with mental health issues. This led to the creation of asylums, institutions specifically designed to house and care for individuals with what was then termed as madness. These asylums were initially seen as havens, places of refuge where people could receive care away from a society that didn't understand them. However, with time, the reality of asylums became starkly different. Overcrowding, poor living conditions, and inhumane treatments overshadowed the original intent. The rise of asylums served as a grim reminder that despite societal progress, the understanding and treatment of mental health was still in its infancy. It highlighted the urgent need for more humane, effective treatments and a shift in societal attitudes. The Reform movement was a step forward, but also highlighted the urgent need for more effective treatments. Coming to next topic, the emergence of modern thought. How did the understanding of abnormal behavior evolve with the emergence of modern thought? Let's delve into this fascinating chapter in the history of psychology. As we entered the modern era, the field of psychoanalysis was born, largely thanks to the pioneering work of Sigmund Freud. Freud's theories, though controversial, completely reshaped our understanding of the human mind. He proposed that our conscious thoughts are just the tip of the iceberg, with a vast subconscious mind lurking beneath. This subconscious mind, Freud suggested, is where the roots of abnormal behavior can be found. This was a groundbreaking idea. It shifted the focus from simply treating symptoms to understanding the underlying causes. The impact of Freud in psychoanalysis cannot be overstated. It paved the way for a deeper, more nuanced understanding of abnormal behavior. With the advent of psychoanalysis, abnormal behavior was no longer seen as just a symptom, but as a window into the subconscious mind. And in the next topic of the evolution of research and the behavioral perspective, we discuss: how did the field continue to evolve in the 20th century? This is the question we grapple with as we delve into the evolution of research and the birth of the behavioral perspective. During this time, a significant shift occurred in psychology, moving away from introspective methods and towards a focus on observable behaviors. This shift marked the birth of the behavioral perspective. The behavioral perspective posited that the key to understanding abnormal behavior lay not in the hidden recesses of the mind, but in observable behaviors. This perspective argued that abnormal behavior, like any other behavior, was learned. It was this focus on learning that led to the development of techniques to modify behavior, giving rise to behavior therapy. The behavioral perspective was greatly influenced by the work of Ivan Pavlov, John B. Watson, and B.F. Skinner. Pavlov, a Russian physiologist, discovered classical conditioning, a learning process that occurs when two stimuli are repeatedly paired. Watson, an American psychologist, extended Pavlov's work, advocating that psychology should be the science of observable behavior. Skinner, another American psychologist, contributed the concept of operant conditioning, which explains how consequences lead to changes in voluntary behavior. The behavioral perspective brought a fresh and objective lens to the study of abnormal behavior. It allowed for the measurement and analysis of behavior in a way that had not been possible before. This perspective also emphasized the environment's role in shaping behavior, highlighting how maladaptive behaviors could be unlearned and replaced with more adaptive ones. This perspective was not without its critics, however. Some argued that it oversimplified the complexity of human behavior and ignored the role of internal mental processes. Despite these criticisms, the behavioral perspective has made significant contributions to our understanding of abnormal behavior and continues to influence contemporary psychology. The evolution of research and the behavioral perspective marked a pivotal moment in psychology's history. It shifted the focus from the hidden mind to observable behavior, from introspection to empirical evidence. The behavioral perspective brought a more objective and measurable approach to understanding abnormal behavior. And with this shift, the field took a significant step forward in its quest to unravel the complexities of the human mind and behavior. And now we discuss about contemporary and current trends. Where does our understanding of abnormal behavior stand today? We've journeyed through time, from early age beliefs to the birth of psychoanalysis, and now we find ourselves in the present, weaving together the threads of our accumulated knowledge. The biological perspective has gained significant traction in recent years. This perspective emphasizes the role of genetics, brain structure, and biochemical imbalances in influencing abnormal behavior. Think of it as looking under the hood of a car to understand why it's not running properly. This perspective has paved the way for treatments such as medication and neurofeedback, offering hope for conditions once deemed untreatable. Then there's cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a modern approach that combines cognitive and behavioral theories. It posits that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, and that by changing one, we can influence the others. Imagine being trapped in a maze of negative thoughts and behaviors. CBT offers a map to navigate out of that maze, with strategies to challenge unhelpful thought patterns and change problematic behaviors. But just as a map needs to reflect the terrain accurately, our understanding of abnormal behavior needs to take into account the cultural context. Culture shapes our beliefs, our values, and our norms, and it inevitably shapes our understanding of what is considered normal and abnormal. Recognizing this, psychologists today place significant emphasis on cultural competence. This involves understanding and respecting cultural differences, and being aware of how cultural biases can influence diagnosis and treatment. This is the landscape of contemporary psychology, a terrain that continues to evolve with each new study, each new insight. It's a multidimensional approach, recognizing that abnormal behavior is not a simple matter of this causing that, but rather a complex interplay of biological, psychological, and socio-cultural factors. Today we understand that abnormal behavior is complex and multifaceted, and our approach to understanding and treating it must be as well. We've come a long way in our journey, and as we continue to explore, we'll keep refining our map of the human mind and behavior. So, how have perspectives on abnormal behavior evolved over time? What a journey we've taken, from the early age era where abnormal behavior was seen as a divine punishment, to the Middle Ages, where naturalism and superstitions held sway. We witnessed the rebirth of science, shedding light on the mysteries of the human mind, and the reform movement that led to the birth of asylums. Modern thought emerged, challenging traditional notions and promoting a more nuanced understanding of abnormal behavior. We explored the evolution of research and the behavioral perspective, which has shaped our current understanding of abnormal behavior. And finally, we delved into the contemporary and current trends, revealing a more holistic approach that considers both biological and environmental factors. As we continue to learn and grow, our understanding of abnormal behavior will continue to evolve. And with it, our ability to effectively treat and support those who need it most. And if you think this video is helpful, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Thank you for watching.